morning.
Salk said you've gotten more opinionated in year 2, and you're starting out 1 minute in. Look at it. Yeah. I like it.
Okay, let's start the what's different in year 2 questions that everybody else is getting.
You want to see the notes? It says right here.
Segue.
What's different?
What's the biggest difference for you in year 2?
Let's go backwards then. Let's go back to the end of year 1.
Yeah.
You do exit interviews or kind of self-scouting type stuff for the team? Like, what came out of the end of year 1?
Man, yeah, we do all those things. And you can't talk to every player. They're going to talk to their position coaches and coordinators. I'll talk to as many guys as you can, and that things are happening fast and things are moving. But you're trying. There's definitely guys that you want to talk to and get their opinions on things. And I think you got to take a deep breath. You kind of have to kind of refresh and reset to kind of take emotion out of it. And there's things that you're thinking about as the year starts to unfold there at the end of the direction that you feel like you need to go. And I think we talked about this but you have all these ideas that year 1. Here you go, year 1 to year 2. And it just becomes very clear and it narrows down. Okay, let's figure out what actually is important here, so we can make sure we hit the target moving forward, where it's not 7,000 different targets, and you just have a clear direction of where you're going.
It's kind of narrowing the focus.
Yeah, and then obviously you're going to do all the self scout stuff. We were busy at the end hiring a new offensive staff, so that took a big chunk of time, which was a great process. And then start to rebuild the systems and figure out where the league's going. I mean, it's all sorts of stuff going on.
Was there something you found that you did really well that you wanted to focus on and try to do even more of?
I think we're building it the right way. I think in terms of laying a foundation about what we expect, trying to get everybody on the same page. There's different cadences that go with it. Obviously not the most patient person of all time, so you want these things to happen quicker, but you go back and you look back and say, okay, I think we're focusing on the right things. All right, now let's narrow the focus. Let's bring everybody together. The 12 is one. Let's come together here so we can kind of move forward together, and that way we'll go further.
I think your partner in crime there, who sits in that studio, and it was built out for John Schneider. Mike, you were right. Your instincts were right. We built that professionally out for the John Schneider Show every week there with Bob and Dave, just a first-class operation.
Yeah, it's very professionally done, too.
Very professional. That's what we are. We're pros. We're all about our process and sharpening it up as well. Your cohort, Mr. Schneider, talked a lot this offseason, February, March, about pivoting, right? It was a pivot. The market went here, this move went there, the roster went there, the process, we had to pivot. You pivot on Geno, and you pivot on a few of these different moves. From your view, right? That's John, and you guys linked together. From your view, how was all of that pivoting?
How was it? I mean,
it was great. How was the process for you?
It was. I think you have to do this all the time. I think it's kind of how we operate. You're looking at the lens of what we're trying to build, what's going to be best for us, how can you make it happen, what are the options on the table, and then hey, let's kind of we're going to get people's opinions, and at the end of the day, we're kind of working through Jody and then John and I, we make the decisions, and then we rock and roll. So I know it seemed like a lot, but we had time kind of behind the scenes here to kind of work things out, come up with it. It's not like you kind of knew, okay, it's going to go one of these few ways. And as it started to unfold, just kind of seemed like, okay, all right, here we go. Here, what's the next thing? What's the next thing? And all of a sudden, I thought we ended up with a team we're really excited about, and the guys that are here we're fired up for.
Is it different, and maybe this is a year 1 to year 2 question, but maybe more specifically, coaching guys that you, for lack of a better reason, or chose versus guys that you inherited because they were here before?
No, I think you're just looking at a shared understanding of everybody involved in all these equations. So, you go to our defensive meeting room is unique to the rest of the league. It's really our style now. It's just like the guys understand what the expectations are. There's a spirit in there that we're really proud of that we've been able to create. And offensively, we're in that mode right now where it's a lot of install, it's a lot of scheme, but we're also building our identity and kind of our style of play and our personalities and having all that kind of fuse, which is an exciting process. And you can feel it, when we're sitting there with the team and during practices. And, again, you go out for the first time for practice with a new coach and you're like, okay, like, what are the expectations? You try to explain it the best you can. Time's ticking, you got to let it rip out there. And there's a little bit of maybe just a little bit of unease or uncertainty on what expectations are. I could see how that could happen to me if I was a player. And but having gone through everything and then kind of recalibrated, and now we're on the second cycle of this thing. I think there's less drag, more confidence involved with everybody, and again, just a shared understanding about like what we're doing, what we're trying to get out of all these phases, what the expectations are, where we're going, how we want to do it. All those things. So it's a really fun process. I mean, it's just, I think you have to understand where you're at. We're in the latter parts of the spring program here, and we're trying to finish this thing out with a bang so we can have a great off season. Guys can go take a break, go train their butts off, come back in the best shape of their life, and then go have the best training camp we could possibly have. That's kind of the big picture, but let's figure out what's important.
You mentioned the defensive side of things there, Mike, and the defensive staff and kind of year two with all that continuity. It's year one now for Clint and so much of the offensive staff. If we were in those meetings and kind of getting a chance to watch behind the scenes, what would we see and hear? What are you seeing and hearing from your new offensive group?
Well, it's a lot of clarity. I mean, these guys, they know exactly what to expect, or what they know what they're looking for. And I think the players really appreciate that. It's really demanding. I mean, we're installing a lot of scheme, but it's important for these guys to hear these things and these coaching points and get these reps on tape before we take off, and then we kind of reinstall it in training camp. So there's a lot of great coaching, a lot of great teaching going on. The expectations are high, the standard is high, and I think the players respect that. What we're trying to create, but there's a clarity too, on how the scheme is built and then how to make that come to life on the page, and how all 11 work together, to create a successful play. And I think that fires me up, because it's very similar to how we coach our defense, of making the play come to life. When you talk about 12 as one, like just everybody working together all the time. Hey, I'm set. I took on, I played this double team so this guy could make the play. Same thing on offense. Hey, the timing of the quarterback is right, the footwork, we're on a no hitch or we're on a hitch, and then that ties into our, to our actions and the protections, and then the route, distribution, and all those things work together all the time. And when we've had a lot of great reps where it's worked, and say, hey, this is it, and then you can see where there's missed opportunities, and I think that's eye-opening for the guys.
For a layperson, how do you think the offense will look most different this year compared to last year? I mean, just out here yesterday, I saw fullback in a bunch of those sets, so
yeah,
that was different.
Look, it's
what
just
will look different?
Like someone told me one day, like one time, it's like we have our defense. There's every defensive system has won a championship if you do it the right way. You go back to the Bears, the Legion of Boom, we're doing their thing. The Ravens have done their thing. Chicago, the Bears are, you know what I'm saying? Like it's methods versus principles about how you play. We have this scheme now about what we're going to be, but we're going to be more under center and more wide zone and more actions, and which is exciting. But that's married to this philosophy and this system and what plays best and how you put everything together with how we're going to do it moving forward.
Coach, I will try not to bore you this upcoming season with my coaching life experience. I'm going to try not to bore you. But today was our first day with the freshmen, right? So the fresh schools ended out here. The freshmen got to be together last week, kind of like you guys do with rookie minicamp. And then today they got to all be in the team room with the seniors and the juniors and the battle-tested guys. And it was so fun to see them try to even get in stretching line, right? Where do I go?
Where do you have them sit in the team room, though? That's important.
Ooh. Well, those older guys, they take the first row seats. Yeah, Titus was a little pissed I had to stop for coffee. He's like, if I don't get in the front row today, it's your fault. And I was like, all right, we'll make sure we get there 15, 20 minutes early. So there's a fight for the front rows with the veteran guys. Awesome. The freshmen come in a little bit later. Kind of curious to flip it to your guys, to your rookies. Yeah, rookie mini camp a couple weeks ago, right? They all find their footing, and now they get to assimilate with the veterans and the system. What are you seeing from this rookie class in its entirety?
Yeah, I don't tell them this, but I love our rookies. The intent is great. Like the work ethic, these guys are putting in the time. It's a class that like loves football. I think they respect their teammates. Smart. Like again, they're trying to do it to basically. It feels like they're trying to show the guys that are here, like, hey, I understand what it means to be a Seahawk, how we practice. They're prepared. Now, there's mistakes all over the place, and that's everybody. But like, but they're playing the right way. They're practicing the right way. The mental is there. Like the attention to detail is there. But they're on a different timetable. These guys, this is the first time they're doing it. They're in pro ball now. They're in a different city. A lot of different variables going on. And our message to them is just like, look, we're just going to you're going to just go through it. Just stay in the fight with it. And at some point, those connected tissues are just going to connect a little bit quicker the next time, and then connect a little bit quicker the next time. All of a sudden, you're going to find yourself in a position where you're going to be, being productive, being able to make plays, contribute to the team, give yourself a chance to make the squad and really prove yourself at the beginning of your career. So, but right now, like all the inputs, really pleased with that, and we'll see how the summer goes with them, and we got to take that momentum into training camp.
I was looking for a text we got at about 6:05 this morning that says, I wonder how long it will take Brock to start talking to Coach Macdonald about his own coaching experience this year. And it took about 12, 13 minutes, just for the record. Now we've got an answer.
No, it's awesome.
That's
great.
So I was out here yesterday, and I wasn't charting this or anything, but it looked like fairly even number of reps between your three quarterbacks that were out there. Is that something that we should expect to continue through training camp, or is that more unique to this time of the year?
Yeah, I think it's more unique right now. I mean, Sam's getting them. Your math is off.
As I said, I wasn't charting it. It was just sort of an eye test thing.
Yeah. So Sam's getting the vast majority of the reps. It's important for everybody to rep and get the experience. And now that there's only so many minutes that you can be out on the field, but we want Drew to get a ton of reps too. We want J Mill to get a ton of reps. So how do you manage it? You can handle it like move the ball periods, and when the threes get their opportunities, different ways you can kind of balance them out. So the ones aren't just taking a trillion reps on the field. You can use that time to develop the young guys, give them opportunities to go. So there's different things that are going on, but yeah, Sam's going to get vast majority, and as we'll go closer to the season, it'll get skewed even further.
So I feel bad asking this because it feels like a gotcha question, but I really don't mean it that way. And if there's no way to answer it, I guess I would understand that. But look, was out here yesterday. Sam didn't have his best day, obviously a couple of picks, etc. And I guess I almost have to ask, but I hate asking this. Is there anything that could happen other than an injury between now and the beginning of the season that would lead to a different quarterback?
No, you guys are crazy.
There's no way to ask the question without sounding like an idiot.
Like, I respect you got to ask it, but like, you guys, it's just a crazy question. There's just not going to, like, Sam's our starting quarterback. We love him. He's doing a tremendous job. I think it's funny that the media is out there for like the first day, and all of a sudden they know exactly how good we're going to be and how good all the players are and all the tempos. Like, we don't even put on pads yet. Like, we haven't made one tackle. And it turns out in practice, like, it's a great way to build culture by letting guys know that, like, they can't make mistakes. That's exactly what we're shooting for. So go out to practice, be tight, make sure you don't make a mistake, because then, God forbid, you're the worst player of all time because you made one bad throw or one bad decision. It's like, that is not what we're trying to build. We want these guys to go prepare the right way, and then when they go out on the practice field, go freaking let it rip, and then we'll go fix it. We'll go. We got time. It's June. It's June 3rd. We'll go. Okay, they're going to get plenty of reps. We'll get those things fixed. I mean, Sam made a lot of great throws yesterday. He's gashing us on 3rd and goal to start the day out too. So, yeah, that was kind of a crazy question.
Mm-hmm. Talk to me about your Emmanwori. You know, everybody we've had on, from DJ to Mayock to all the guys, I think similarly, like, I wonder how Coach Macdonald and Dirty and staff are going to use him. Is he going to be a deep safety? Can he be a nickel? Can he be a big nickel? What kind of different roles can we see that freakish athlete in?
Well, we joke with him. It's kind of we joke with him that it's up to him. It's really not. It's not as easy as of an answer as you'd like. Like we had this with the similar situation with Kyle Hamilton. These Brandon Stevens is another guy that was drafted the year before I got back to Baltimore. But these versatile guys that can do like a lot of things. It's like, okay, you're only going to get so many reps. How do you get good at one thing and then you expand? You know, you start in the 3rd level and then work, forward. I think with the way our team is structured now, with the safeties that we have, and Nick's just natural ability, like I think we're starting with focusing more at the 2nd level nickel position. You know, see if that translates possibly to like dime on 3rd down, which is kind of a similar like skill set, you know, and then like roles that you play schematically, it's kind of mirrored. And then there'll be some opportunities to play safety too in different packages, but it's a balance there of like, okay, how do you get them to get really good at these things and then build the role as you go, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But what I really appreciate about Nick is he loves the process of football. There's a lot of part of the game that comes natural to him. He has a great feel for the game naturally on how to do things, and but it matters to him. And he's working really hard to get caught up, you know, because he's getting a lot of reps with the ones out there too. So the expectations are high out there to be able to execute. So. Yeah, he's fun to work with, but he knows he's got a long way to go. But you love the intent, you love the preparation, the coachability, all those things are there.
You kind of answered this or talked about this, hinted at it in the answer about the quarterbacks. But we were having a debate, Brock, a week or two ago about coaching the positives versus coaching against negatives. And I think it was after listening to a Belichick interview, right, where somebody was saying about Belichick, he stressed so much, don't turn it over. And it sounds kind of the opposite of what you often hear about coaching, which is, tell people what you want them to do, not what you don't want them to do. As a coach, how do you balance that, kind of the need to not do the negatives with focusing on the positives?
I don't want to make it seem like I'm going against Coach Belichick in anything, because he's probably the best ever to do it. But I think our philosophy here is we want to be positive, man. Like, there's a way to word things where you can have best of both worlds. And so that's our job as coaches, to kind of like make that simplicity come to life for the guys. And again, what kind of team do you want? You want a team that's going to go out there and understand like what their responsibility is and then let it rip kind of within like the commander's intent of what we're trying to achieve. That's what we want. We want a team operating like that, especially in those critical moments. But you have to understand where there's a line there, and when you're below the line, the way we explain it is like if the intent's right, the guys are prepared the right way, and we're below the line. Hey, as coaches, like we're with you, man. We're coaching you up. Come on, let's go. Like we're in this thing together. Now, when one of those guys, one of those sides of the equation isn't prepared, homework isn't right, didn't really do the things to earn the right to go let it rip, that's when we have a problem, because it's like you're letting the team down at that point, on both sides. So as a coach, either I wasn't prepared enough to put him in the right situation. That's when I'm really upset with myself, or, coaches or things like that. Players, hey, look, if there's things that they should know, or if it's a repeat offender or something like that, to me, those are things that you can avoid through effort and preparation and taking care of the team.
It's almost like if you do enough work and prep,
yeah,
the bad things, you don't need to focus on the bad things because you focused on the preparation.
Yeah, it's just a sense of confidence. I've earned the right to come out here at practice and go take this rep and go let it rip, and then like whatever happens, and we'll either, hey, this is awesome, this is what we want, you guys see this is great. We had this today our defensive meeting. There's a lot of great stuff that we're hitting the bar that we want to show this is the fruits of our labor. And then there's some things where, hey, this is an opportunity to do it a different way, or maybe, we're trying to teach the whole group about, hey, let's learn from something that didn't happen the way we wanted to, and that way we can grow for it.
Hey, Mike, in the last minute or two, can I ask just a couple nuts and bolts, kind of quick fire questions here? Just personnel wise, do you expect Ernest and Uchenna and Tori to all be full go by training camp? I know that they're all being a little protected and guarded through this OTA season. Should we see all three of those at full speed by training camp?
Yeah, I'd love to give you an answer on that. I just don't really want to right now.
Okay, perfect.
So
how would you?
I wouldn't. So I really wouldn't love to give you an answer.
Okay.
How
would you
putting a timetable on those guys right now probably isn't fair to them.
Gotcha. How would you characterize your swing in BP at T-Mobile?
Well, I was tempted, since I was really the only one that knew we were going. I probably should have taken advantage of it by going to the batting cage or something.
Homework. Do your preparation.
I wasn't prepared for that, so I was hard on myself.
Did you get one out?
I got one to mid outfield.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy when you get up there how far away the fence really is?
Well, it's great, yeah. Because I was watching when we did our home run derby. I was watching from behind, behind the whatever they call it, the shell or the cage. And these guys, our guys, we put 8 to 10 balls out during the home run derby.
What?
And which is the guy said they could hit 12, and I was like, there's no way.
Who hit them out?
Torrey Horton hit a couple. Patio hit a couple.
Zabel getting the out?
J.R. Plumlee hit one out. I think Zabel was he didn't hit him high enough, but he was raking him to right center. Alexander won. He was like Junior Griffey out there, man. Just he got a smooth swing. It was pretty impressive. He won the whole
and how's Jack doing? Lastly, how's Jack?
I was keep talking about home run derby. Now I got to talk about my kid. No, Jack's doing great. I was joking with the guys. We're talking about. It's funny. We're talking about preparation and going through it, and I'm I got to do it with as a dad. I gotta earn my kid's respect. My 6-month-old son. I have to earn his love.
Yeah.
By being there every day and doing all the things that I should be doing that my wife does. But
now, does he have to earn
he likes
your
me more
love too?
No.
Okay, good.
Yeah. No, he doesn't. But this past weekend was good because the crying was minimal. He's starting to like his old man, which is a positive.
Okay, good. Well, we enjoy it. Thank you. Thanks for coming in and.